I know y'all missed us. I know y'all missed us. Y'all been clicking on the links and like, when they gonna drop another one? Guess what? We're back. It's Moses. It's Luxon. We're back in the building. Hey, Final Four going on, and you know I'm gonna be trying to do two things at once, right? Because I'm looking at the game, but I'm also gotta try to conversate with this man named Moses on the other side of the world here. But you know we're gonna make it happen. And hey, Moses, man, it's been so long, man. So tell the people, man, what's good with you, man?
Man, everything is good, man. Everything is good. It's been about what, like almost 4 weeks since we did something. It's like, yo, every time, because you know we don't live close to each other. So
No,
every time I'm available, you're not available. Every time that we say we're gonna do it, like we don't do it, something comes up, and then I had an infection in my tooth a couple weeks back, so I was out for a week and a half, dude. The whole side of my face was sore, and I was out for a week and a half. So that's basically the rundown of how it's been. But yeah, man, we back right now. There's a lot of news that went down while we were away, and I know everybody has talked about this to death from the beginning of free agency to the big picks to March Madness, everything. So you know what I'm saying, we're gonna try to cover a little bit of each one here today. And get this podcast going right, man.
Here we go. That's definitely. And yo, we apologize, but do us a favor. Definitely subscribe, like, share, tell a friend about it. Because let's get these numbers up. Run these numbers up for your boy. Run these numbers up. Anyway, let's get going. We've been, you know, the few episodes prior before we went out, we talked a lot about Deshaun Watson. We were actually expecting, I was expecting Deshaun Watson to be traded way before, especially at the beginning of free agency. And that didn't happen, obviously, because of some of the troubles that he's in currently. If you don't know, he's got over 20 women that have filed civil lawsuits against him, and that are basically saying that he has sexually assaulted them, from touching to forcing them to give him head. It's crazy. This story, it's insane. People tend to focus on the aspect that the lawyer for these women, and all these women seem to have all the same lawyers, is the neighbor of the Houston Texans owner. So the lawyer is neighbors with the owner, and a lot of people are like, yo, this man's just getting railroaded. Some people are saying he's getting railroaded. Some people are sitting back and saying, oh my gosh, what's going on? But this is the first time I've actually seen when an accusation like this come out. Like, I've seen a lot of people stand up. A few weeks ago, not a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, Des Bryant actually went on social media and was like, I know nobody's standing up for you. That's wrong. I know you, and I know you didn't do all these things. I'm standing up for you. And he's been one of the few athletes that's actually come out publicly to support him. So, I mean, I don't know what question I should throw at you, Moses, but I'll just throw it up to you. What do you think about this whole Deshaun Watson thing?
Like you said, man, we were expecting him to get traded. He didn't want to play. And then all of a sudden you hear one of these allegations come out. And then you're thinking about, well, personally, me, I'm thinking about, it's kind of convenient that it comes out right now, you know what I'm saying? But we don't know what's true. We don't know if it happened or not. But just earlier this week, they have other 18 women or 18 masseuses that came out and said, that's definitely not the guy that I was treating, right? They all came to bat for him, basically. And this is going back up since Clemson, personally, from what I heard from people that know him, especially when he got drafted, he did that nice gesture for the lunch ladies at the organization, the Houston Texans. It doesn't seem like that's something that he would do, but also you do not know a person. You don't personally know him. You don't know what everything that goes on behind closed doors. But for me, I'm gonna wait till everything plays out, because it's always gonna come. The truth is always gonna come out at the end of the day. I'm gonna wait that. I'm not accusing him of anything, and I'm not saying that he didn't do these things, right? Because some of these some of the evidence that they're showing, like the text messages and right there, it might suggest that something did go on, but like he said that some of these things were consensual. Um, and then like I said before, everything that you heard from him previously is the way that the masseuses described the interactions with him. That's stuff that you heard that other people described about his personality and him before all before this happened. So I do have my reservations because when you're a young black man, you know what I'm saying, and you're trying to force your way out, and there's somebody up top that's a multi-billionaire, they could make stuff pop up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not absentee to that. Like that does not just fly over my head like, oh, that can't happen. I know stuff like that happened, right? So I'm just gonna wait till everything play out before I start accusing him or throwing him to the wolves like I see some other people trying to do all of a sudden. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Okay, so you said something at the beginning of your talk that I didn't actually was news to me. I didn't know about this, so that's good. I want to kind of hear a little bit about that. So you said that earlier in the week that 18 masseuses actually came out in support of Deshaun Watson, saying they never had any interactions or did anything wrong with him. He never did nothing wrong with them.
No, he basically what it's saying, like, and this is 18 of them, and majority of them were describing the interactions with them. There's like, oh, he told them to in the beginning when he first met them, he's like, okay, I need work on certain areas of my body. Do you feel comfortable working on that? They're like, yes, no problem. I'm a masseuse. I've been doing this for however many years that they've been doing it for, right? And after that, they said that he puts on his headphones, he's quiet, he's polite, and he's just listening to his music, right? And then I remember a couple of years ago when they were asking about when his rookie year, when Rich Eisen was asking his teammate, like, oh, how's Deshaun Watson? They're like, oh, he's pretty quiet. He just puts on his headphones and he listens to his music. And that's the thing I heard maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, whatever, however many years it was. And they matched up. So like I said, I'm reserving, I'll probably have my reservations. I'm gonna wait till everything comes out to see what is what.
I'll say this. This is there's two things that's happening here that are huge conflicts, or I don't even know if they go against each other, but there's two major things that's happening here that's gonna make this this whole situation very hard. First of all, I do agree with you 100% that, like, in all honesty, we all probably shouldn't even talk about it. We shouldn't even, obviously we gotta talk about it because it's sports news, but we shouldn't be picking a side. All right, because in this scenario, we really don't know what's going to happen if 3 months from now all this is thrown out, or actually if real charges, right, against the law are brought up against him. But there's two things that
before you continue, I was reading today that a charge has been brought against him with the police department. They're doing an investigation that came out today also.
They're just doing an investigation, but no charge yet.
They haven't charged him. Okay, they haven't charged him, but I guess somebody came up and said that, oh, he did this or whatnot, and they're launching an investigation. So go ahead.
Oh boy. And so I'll say this: the two things that I think that are really interesting that are being played out in my mind. This is in my mind. I don't know how everybody else is reading it. So I have on one side the Me Too movement that's brought out a lot of things to society and has allowed us to begin to truly understand the things that women are going through, right? A lot of us have ignored for a very long time the cries and pleas of women, and the Me Too movement really showed that guys are bums, you know what I mean? And guys are gross, and guys do very terrible things. And so we can't just ignore that fact. And for too long, women have had to sit quietly in a corner and take it and be okay with it. And so the Me Too movement brought it out and hopefully educated some of us. Like, it's not okay for certain behaviors. It's not okay for you to say certain things. And so that's sticking in my mind because because of the Me Too movement, I typically lean on the woman. I believe in the woman. Any accusation that comes out, I always believe the woman, because the truth of the matter is, I feel 9 out of 10 times they're telling the truth, right? But we do also have the flip side of this where Deshaun Watson, I'm not homo, no homo, but Deshaun Watson is an attractive guy. You know what I mean? Carries himself really well, built well from his IG post. He clearly knows how to dress and things of that nature. And he's had a certain stature since high school, right? He was a highly ranked recruiting kid, went to Clemson. And so you know that from history and things of that nature, that women, there are more likely women or have thrown themselves at a Deshaun Watson and things of that nature. And so for me, those two things are being played out. And it's like, were these women throwing themselves out at Deshaun Watson and you know what I mean, he did what he did? Or was it, you know what I mean, being the Me Too movement, like he literally was forcing himself because he thought he was a jock and he can get away with this. He's got money and things of that nature. We won't know. We won't know. It's halftime. Gonzaga just jumped back on top, 45-44. Looks like UCLA was hanging in there in the beginning, but now Gonzaga's up by 1. I definitely expect Gonzaga to just blow them out in the second half anyway.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Yeah.
You know, and so it's a very dicey, complicated issue, right? At first, I thought the owner did this, but somebody brought something out to me that made it. I don't necessarily know if the owner would have done this because Deshaun Watson, in essence, has lost all his trade value. So we're going to go back to the football aspect of this. So before we move on to the football aspect of this, I just want to say, hey, no matter how this turns out, let's just don't be a fan of your favorite player and think that your favorite player is perfect, right? Just like you kind of said already, Moses, this could go either way. And if it turns out that he is accused of these things and he's found wrong to have done wrongs, I hope that we stand up and say this is wrong and we should not tolerate this at all costs. Anyway, let's jump back to the football side of this. So at first I thought that maybe the Houston owner did this, but he loses all trade value right now. Nobody's touching Deshaun Watson right now, right? And I'm going to ask you a question about that too in a second. But somebody was pointing out maybe it's not the owner that did this, maybe it's other NFL teams around the league that did this, so that they simply could get him for the very, very, very low right now. And so it's very interesting. So the question that I have for you then is, Moses, would you, if you were in need of a quarterback, right, would you right now reach out to the Houston Texans and try to get Deshaun Watson for the cheap, knowing all these accusations are out there right now?
Would I... for the cheap? Now, what do you consider cheap?
I mean, I don't think they're gonna it's gonna at least be one first round. I think you're gonna have to at least give one first round. Let's just say before it was 3-4 first rounds. Now you're talking about one first round to get Deshaun Watson. Would you do that?
If you're going inside the draft and you're drafting a player, it's a gamble because you don't know how he's gonna turn out later on. So yes, I would. If it's especially if I'm one of like the later teams. And I could give up and say a pick in the 20s, you know what I'm saying, for Deshaun, and it goes like, okay, if he would get suspended if these allegations are true, right? And as long, because all the allegations that's right now are civil allegations, right?
Right.
So basically, it's looking like they're gonna settle out of court or maybe even in court for money. So he might get suspended by the league, but then he'll put this behind him and he'll end up playing again, right? So that's worth a late round draft pick. One first rounder for Deshaun Watson that at most will be suspended for a year, or he won't play for a year, but you have him for the following year. Oh yeah, that's worth a gamble. I would do it. That's worth a gamble.
I'm surprised the team hasn't reached out. I wouldn't be surprised if teams have reached out to still try to trade them. Because the funny thing is, the truth of the matter is, the NFL is still a sport and it's all about winning. And so at the end of the day, the honest truth is they're probably not as worried about all these accusations, simply because they know that most of them probably won't end up in criminal court, right? Yeah. So their mindset is probably thinking, well, it's a civil court. He pays them off. there's not really a presumption of guilt or innocent or anything. It's just he paying them off, and you get a quarterback. He's probably definitely going to get suspended because of if he does pay out. So it's. I'll just say this: it's interesting that more teams haven't. I haven't heard, and maybe it's not being reported, but more teams haven't reached out and said, "Hey, can we get Deshaun Watson for the cheap right now?"
But I would say this, that I think that a lot of teams are moving on because of these things that are
yes.
Because we talked about this earlier, maybe when it happened. I mean, we're going to talk about it later in the show, but those picks that San Francisco traded up to the number 3 spot, those were essentially Deshaun Watson's picks that they probably were going to, the package that they were going to offer to the Texans for him. And they might have thrown a little bit more in there. So, and it was reported that they're one of the teams that was interested in trading for him because they were monitoring the situation with his trade request, right? So, yeah.
I'll say this. I definitely jumping straight to the draft. Let's talk a little bit about the draft. I think the Dolphins, this is just, and once again, I have no proof of this, all right? But I do think that the Dolphins, the way they handled free agency, I feel like it seems like they were interested. They were more than interested. They were going to make a move for Deshaun Watson, all right? The Dolphins were laying low because all this started happening a couple of days before free agency, and all of a sudden, the Dolphins, all the big moves that they were supposed to make, they just chilled out. I know some Dolphins feel like, oh no, the Dolphins weren't going to spend that much. They weren't going to do. Nah, I think they didn't want to spend that much because they were going to go after Deshaun Watson. And then when all the news broke out, I think they had to go back to Plan B, which is a great Plan B. Let's make something clear, all right? Because I think that one of the problems that's happening right now, there's a Tua hate that's out there. Just because Tua didn't light the world up, people are automatically assuming that Tua is not going to be good. I think Tua is going to be great. So this is a great Plan B. And so they were going to go after Deshaun Watson. Now they're just going to surround Tua with a bunch of great players. And so I'm okay with that. Hey, news is Justin, your boy, the quarterback, right? Justin Fields, the quarterback from the Ohio State, is falling hard, right? I take that back. He's not falling hard, but he is falling, right? And your boy's mock draft, Todd McShay's mock draft the other day, he put him at 11, all the way down to 11, I believe, if I'm correct. All right. If I'm wrong, y'all check me on the chat. All right. So let me ask you this question: Why do you think he's falling? Based on what you've heard and things of that nature.
It seems like they're dissecting his game and nitpicking, and they're basically talking themselves out of how good he is. It's almost like what happened to Deshaun, tell you coming out of Clemson. Because they're saying like, he's the best quarterback, and then they're like, but he did this, or he doesn't do this great, or this, that, and the third, right? And what ends up happening, you got the Bears trading up to get Trubisky, and now Trubisky's not there. And I know Deshaun's going through his own problems right now, but he is clearly a top 5 quarterback in the league, right?
Yes.
So I think that's what's happening, because he played against the top competitions in college, right? Zach Wilson did not, right? And they're just loving Zach Wilson right now. He has a big arm. He's very fast. I guess they're just trying to like nitpick his game. But what I thought about just the other day, I'm like, and when they were saying that, was it Mac Jones? That's what the San Francisco, they drafted up to number 3 to get Mac Jones. I'm like, what if that's just a smokescreen? What if Fields is the player that they want? Because after that happened, the second pro day, there were 2 pro days, same day. There was Justin Fields and Mac Jones, and the 49ers brass was at Mac Jones. Pro day, right? So, I wouldn't be surprised when the commissioner comes to that podium and they say the number 3 pick is Justin Fields going to San Francisco. I would not be surprised. So,
I think you said something that's fine. That's something that, because right now what I've been trying to do is try to break down the draft. I've actually been doing my own mock drafts, of 1 through 18. I'm not doing the whole first round. I'm just trying to figure out what's happening with what's going to happen with the Dolphins. So I'm trying to do different variations. But the problem right now that you have is that there's so much false information out there that you got to try to figure out, is this really false or is this accurate? And so but it's interesting that Mac Jones has climbed all the way to number 3 right now. And so by all accounts that he's number 3, and I like I've done a couple of my mock drafts, I'm putting him at number 3 because it seems like that's what everybody's saying. But Fields is falling. And when you say nitpicking, like I heard some analyst was on ESPN and they were talking about, oh, they did a study on Justin Fields. And when they did the study, they saw that like most of his throws are always to his first read. And it's like, okay, what do you want the man to do? Like to ignore the wide open receiver and go find the one that's not open? Yeah. Like, I don't get it. But I'll say this. And somebody said this on the analyst on ESPN too. I wish I could give them credit to who it is. You want to be in San Fran. All right, I agree with that 100%. You want that genius boy wonder to be coaching you up because that team is ready. If they can find a nice, decent quarterback, they're going to run it. You know what I mean? And word on the street is they're not going to trade Garoppolo, but nobody believes them, right? But everybody feels they're not going to trade Garoppolo. So you get to, in essence, come in and be like Pat Mahomes and basically just sit behind a nice quarterback, learn, and when they get rid of Garoppolo, now you're ready to go. Or even if they do get rid of Garoppolo, once again, you've got Kittle, you've got running backs, you've got a team that's ready to run. And so I hope Justin Fields finds a way to get back to the top and that he does get drafted. It'll be interesting if this is all smokescreen and it does happen. Anyway, let me ask you this question. Who's the athlete, who's the prospect, the draft prospect right now that's like everybody's a buzz about, or not even a buzz about, but that you love, because all these pro days are happening, but you just love the numbers, the measurables, you love everything about this prospect. Who's a prospect that you're ready to run with?
Chase.
I
was looking at his pro days. I looked at some of the highlights, and we talked about it also. Yeah, his route running is good. He's big. He's 6 foot. Runs at what? 4.38, 4.39. He's fast. He can run routes. He's a good route runners. And I was listening, like you said, like I was listening to ESPN, and they were like, he was the best receiver on that LSU team. And you seen how Justin Jefferson turned out, right? Yeah. So I'm like, if he's that good, like I would not be mad if the Jets were to take him. I know.
Oh, at number 2?
Trade. No, they can't trade down. We can't trade down now, right? Because I already know that is who the Dolphins are targeting. It's evident. That's facts right now. The Dolphins want him, right? But not at number 2. But if he turns out to be like a franchise turning receiver, like take the best player you think available at any spot, dude. Take the best player because they can't trade down. Because if you trade down, you're not going to get him. But yeah, no, I like. Yeah.
I'll say this. I actually don't know if the Dolphins are targeting Chase. I actually think their number 1 pick is Pitts. I think they want Pitts because the thing is, I could be completely wrong with this. So they traded back to number 12, right, with San Francisco, and they were in a good spot. I actually thought they should have just stayed at number 12. So, but then they trade back up. So when they trade back up, that clearly means they see a player that they want, that they know is going to be an impact player. And the truth of the matter is, I'm not a super analyst. I go by, I consume information, right? So I get information from everywhere. I consume it and then I process my thoughts. So from all the information that we're getting, Chase Smith and Waddle are still on the same level, right? Chase might be a slight better, but everyone is still saying if you get Smith or Waddle, you're still doing good. You're still balling. And so my thing is, you're not going to trade all the way back up to number 6 and give up pieces to go get someone that is slightly better than Smith or Waddle. What you're going to do is you're going to go up and get a franchise-changing player that you know that has the potential to fall down to number 6. Like, by all accounts, I was talking to one of my homies yesterday, like, if it wasn't for the quarterbacks, Lawrence would go number one, and Pitts would be number two if it wasn't for the quarterback. Because everybody and they mama is blowing smoke up Pitt's butt, right? They love the fact that he ran a 4.4. He's 6'4". He's a strong boy. He's a matchup nightmare. 6'5". He's a matchup nightmare. He's this, he's that. Like, they're like right up Buddy's butt. And so and listen, I'm not necessarily a Pitts. I shouldn't say I'm not a fan. I would rather Chase over Pitts if it was me picking. But I think they move back up because they want to make sure they get Pitts. The funny thing is, I think they're going to have a really, really, really hard decision to make, because I think the offensive tackle from Oregon will drop to number 6, and then they're going to have the choice to make between getting him or one of the receivers. Bro, I think Pitts is still going high.
Let me ask you this question. Don't you have the inside scoop on Pitts?
I don't have, because you know,
you'd have no thing. Yo, let me ask you.
I'm a Miami fan, so yeah. I focus everything on Miami. Like, once I left UF, like, I literally stopped watching UF football unless like it's random and I'm just catching them. Or, you know what I mean? I go to a game, you know what I mean? I have been to a UF game pretty much every season. At least, not every season, but I've been to a couple of UF games simply because, you know what I mean? Peoples, you know what I mean? I got peoples, right?
But was he there when Young Boy was there?
Who?
Was Pitts when Young Boy was there? Was he there?
Oh, when Ed was there? I don't think so. I should ask, but I don't think so. Because Ed, oh, by the way, Ed is my nephew. He walked on to UF, had a whatever, somewhat of a career, and then he quit. He didn't have a career. Let's just say that, all right? So Ed I don't think he was there because he quit after his second year, and Pitts, by all accounts, is 3 years in. So when Ed quit, I think Pitts came in that following year. If I'm correct.
That boy didn't quit. That boy made a decision.
He made a decision to focus on his books.
There you go. That's what's up.
He did, but hey, he did quit. I mean, I'm gonna call on a spade. Ed, if you're listening, just know I still love you. You're still my dog, because I know you chose a career and you about to make money off your career. You about to graduate soon, and my boy about to be cooking up buildings and all these fancy, not even buildings. What are you doing right now? He's doing what's the thing? Solar panels, all right? He about to be cooking up these solar panels on your house. Holla at him, all right?
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. So I think the Dolphins will have a hard choice to make because I think Pitts will go either at 4 or 5, and then that leaves you the offensive tackle, or do you take Ja'Marr Chase? You know what I mean? And so it'll be interesting. Draft night is coming. I can't wait. So let me ask you one quick question about your Jets. So your Jets are sticking with taking Wilson, and that's just the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
That's what it seems like. It seems like they're stuck on Wilson. Well, I'm still waiting to see what they do with Darnold, see where he goes. But
did you see what Adam? Sorry to cut you off. Did you see what Adam Schefter tweeted out the other day? So Adam Schefter on the Jets website, the ticket website where you purchase your tickets, they put up a picture of Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And so Adam Schefter tweeted out like, "Oh, are they telling us something that we don't know? Sam Darnold's gonna be here."
I saw that. Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. Like, they can, if they really believe in him, just keep him. Just keep him, because I don't know. They go with Wilson. They said Wilson is kind of transcendent. Like, some people are saying that, and then you got other analysts and other draft people are saying that he's not better than Fields. Fields is still the second best quarterback in this draft. So you really don't know where they're going. We'll find closer towards draft when it might even be draft day after they draft whoever they draft at number 2, that they ship or they trade Darnold. So we'll see what they go. It's whatever they do. Like, I'm at the point right now, I see them going in a positive direction. The defense is stacked this year. You know what I'm saying? I see what Salas is trying to do with the defense. He's trying to create that same defense that he had on the 49ers. So I'm just seeing where they go. I think they're heading into the right direction. It gives you a little bit of hope for this coming year that they can do something right. and they'll win a little bit more games, and they're not going to be picking in the lottery at the top of the draft the next year. So we'll see how it goes.
What do you think about their free agency? Tell me one player that they got in free agency that you were really in love with, and that you think is going to help them get to the next level?
The defensive line. They got the defensive line. They signed Rankings. They got some other players. Lawson. They signed those dudes to get that defensive line stacked so we can get after the quarterback. They're going to a 4-3 this year. Like I said, I am seeing, and again, some of the players back that were out last year for COVID that opted out. Yeah, they opted out for the season. So the defense is always good or goodish. You know what I'm saying? Now I can see the defense being great. They got some people on offense. Corey Davis. Wasn't too excited about that, but he was like a top 5 pick. I know he was a top 10 pick, right?
He was number 5.
He was 5, right? He was a top 5 pick. His numbers didn't indicate that when he was in Tennessee, but you never know. You did have a stud across the field from him, right? That was the number 1.
Hey, AJ Brown ain't no joke, boy.
AJ Brown's the truth. So we'll see what he can do. Yeah, we can see what we do. We added on defense and we added on offense. We'll see what we do with the quarterback position. But yeah, they said it in the right way. I'm excited.
All right. We're gonna end on this. We're gonna talk a little bit about the NBA, man. Hey, man, what's up with this Brooklyn Nets? Like, I heard that you about to go sign and play with the Brooklyn Nets too. The Brooklyn Nets.
I sent I hired an agent and told him to get in contact with him.
They got everybody, dog. They got Thanos. They done got Captain Marvel. WandaVision is playing with. Like, they got Vision is on the squad. They got a squad. Like, is it fair that like these teams like the Lakers and the Nets, once they get a couple of superstars, can get all these players to come join them for the minimum? Is it fair? Do you like it?
That's what it is, bro. Like, they want to win they want the easiest. Some of them want the easiest way to win a ring. They see the team out there that's gonna win a ring, and that is the Brooklyn Nets. So that's where they're going to. So you got Blake, you got Griffin, and then you just got Aldridge that just signed, right? So, but the funny thing about it, they might not win.
Why? Why do you feel they might not win?
I'm not saying that because I'm not saying that because something's gonna happen and they're just not gonna win. I just like usually when stuff like this happen, I remember when Karl Malone and Stockton joined the Lakers back in the day. You know what I'm saying? They got beat. Who did they get beat by again? Yeah. Who did they get beat by? They got beat by what was it? Pistons? I think it was. I don't even
remember. I
think it was a Pistons. I could be wrong, but yo, they got beat in the finals, right? So usually that situation when they stack the team like that, you know what I'm saying, something happens and they just don't win. They don't get that chemistry. And plus these dudes, like every other day, you got dudes missing 10 games, dudes missing 5 games. They can't gel together. But we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
And let me tell y'all something like this. Y'all know I'm a homer. I'm always a homer. I'm a ride or die, 305 till I die. Hey, my boy, you know how it goes. I'm telling you guys, I believe in the Heat, right? But what happened is, this is what happens, because a lot of people are fanning the Nets, and I'm not gonna lie to you. My analytical mind says that the Nets are the team to beat. They were the team to beat before they added the 2 pieces that they added. Before they added Thanos and Vision, they were already the team to beat. Now that they got Thanos and Vision, it's another cranked up. But I'll throw this caveat out there. I want y'all to remember that Bam, I can't even say his last name.
Adebayo.
There you go. Adebayo can guard anyone from 1 through 5. We saw that the other night when they were playing Golden State's down the stretch. My boy locks up the best dribbler in the NBA. Best handle. And say, where you going? Wait, you ain't get. I don't want to hear it right now. You ain't getting the shot off.
Bro. Can I tell you something?
You ain't getting. So what's gonna happen?
I want you
to understand. Hold on.
Wait. Before you even say that,
go.
Kevin Love did the same exact thing in the finals, dude. Just go ahead.
Calm down. So I want you to remember that Bam can guard anyone 1 through 5. You got a Butler. You added another player in Depot that all can play defense. So you're right. Not you're right, but in general speaking, the Nets are going to be able to score 130, 140 on. It's going to be like an all-star game, right? They're going to put up ridiculous numbers once they get all their pieces back. And they're already putting up ridiculous numbers, even with all their pieces sitting on the bench, right? But what I know when it comes down to in the NBA playoffs is that you have to have the ability to play defense, right? We know they can't play defense. And we know that Miami can play defense and will lock you down. And so if Miami can stay healthy, and that's the big if, I still give them a shooter's chance. I wouldn't put no money on it. I know people that would put money on it that are bigger fans than I am. I wouldn't put no money on it, but I think Miami legit can play some defense, and we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens.
You can play defense, but you got Kyrie that could crack almost any defense. You got
Good.
You got Kevin Durant that can shoot over.
Can they do it for four?
Defense.
Can they? Because I don't need. You have to do it for 4 quarters. My defense is going to show up for 4 quarters. Can they do it for 4 quarters against the Heat? That's going to be the question,
bro. And they're starting to have shooters now also.
Good for them.
All you got to do is have them collapse, because with Kyrie, he's going to collapse the defense. With Kevin Durant, he's going to collapse the defense and kick it out to one of their shooters.
We're going to see. We're going to see. I'm telling you, we're going to see. It's going to be interesting. With that being stated, hey, let me talk to Dolphin fans right quick before I jump off. Hey, Dolphin fans, calm down. I'm jumping back on the Dolphins. I should have ended on the Miami Hurricanes because the spring game coming up. Hey, and I think they're going to beat Bama first game of the season. Hey, man, 305 till I die. Hey, Dolphin fans, let me tell y'all, if y'all listening and watching this, calm down, all right? I calm down. Y'all made me go on a rant like 4 episodes ago. Please don't make me go on another rant, all right? Y'all freaking out about who we're going to take at number 6. All that matters is if we stay at number 6, we're getting a monster. We're getting a monster. I don't care if it's the offensive tackle. I don't care if it's one of the receivers. I don't care if it's Pitts. We're getting a difference maker at number 6. So calm down. Stop being, I only want Ja'Marr Chase at number 6. And if we don't get that, I'm going to be upset. What are you complaining about if we get Smitty? Or if we don't get Pitts, I'm going to freak out. If we draft the offensive side, bro, let me tell y'all. Let me break it down a little bit some more for you. I'm sorry, Moses. I'm going to take up a few minutes real quick. So if we get the offensive tackle, guess what? We'll have the best offensive line in the NFL. We're going to demolish teams. We're going to run over them. We're going to give Tua 5 years to throw the ball every play. Calm down. If we go get Ja'Marr Chase, guess what? We get any of the receivers, Ja'Marr Chase, Waddle, or Smitty, guess what? That receiver core just goes from being average to the next level. Period. You get Pitts, that's same thing. Now you can run 12 personnel, Pitts, Gesicki, you figure out who you're going. It doesn't matter. Calm down. If we stay at number 6, we're getting a monster. Just be relaxed. Be cool. Y'all calm down. Stop freaking out, man. Stop having favorites when there's 6 great players out there. I think it's 5 great players that we can have and we're going to be good with. On that note,
well, that's the thing. Also, that's the thing. Since all those the quarterbacks are getting drafted, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. You have your pick of all the skill players that you want. Y'all basically have the number 1 pick in the draft because y'all
exactly.
You don't need a quarterback. Like somebody said, the draft starts at either 5 or 6. The draft might start at 6. I really believe that.
And I still believe. The funny thing is because you got the Panthers and you got the Panthers. Who's the other team? Oh my God, the Broncos. So the Panthers, the Broncos, and maybe even Bill Belichick that might want to move up into number 4 or 5. And so, yeah, you legit might have 1 through 4 going through quarterbacks or 1 through 5. And these clowns over here, oh no, if we draft the offensive tackle, I'm going to be upset. Oh no, if we don't get Pitts, like, bro, who cares? I know we're going to get whoever that number 6 player is, I know we're going to get a player that comes in and people mad, or if it's Micah Parsons, bro, if we get the best linebacker that just ran a 4.3 at his pro day, you think I'm mad? Heck no! Plug that man in our defense and let's go kill Sam Darnold on the football field. Come on, man. Yeah. Tell these boys to calm down, man. made me go off for no reason, man. Anyway, Moses, man, any final thoughts? Any sports news that you heard that we didn't mention? You know what I mean? Anything?
There's a lot of news that happened. We didn't cover it all. We'll end up covering it sooner or later. We'll talk about it. And there's more news coming down that we're gonna head and cover also. We're not gonna be gone as far as long as we were this past 4 weeks. But also one thing, what we're trying to do this coming for the draft, we're trying to go live. So we're gonna have me and Luck. We're gonna have our top 10, and we're gonna follow live. We have to figure out where we're gonna do this live at, and we'll see how right we are on our picks. So join us for that. So we'll do that, man.
I hate these big things. I hate these big things. These things are so, because all this for fake information out there. But definitely, we'll be live. You check us out. Draft, NFL draft coming up. It's big time, big time, big time. Hey, y'all, thank you for coming out. Moses, man, tell the people something, man.
Something good, man. Stay up, stay safe. Say, get in contact with somebody that you know and say, hey, check in on somebody. Check on your loved ones, man.
Facts. I like that. I like that. Good job, preacher. God bless.
Peace out.